Mike Santoian. To present Mike Santoian will be his teammate, Don Lally. However, I'm going to break precedent a little bit this evening and invite two other people to the podium to receive Mike. His high school football coach, one of the great coaches of Watertown High School. There were three great coaches, in my opinion: Joe Zeno, Vic Palladino, and John Barbati. Also, I'm going to invite to the podium to share this moment with Mike is a person who I go back to the 50s at Northeastern. Mike's head coach at Northeastern, Bull Lions. My teammate. I must say that in the years that I was at Northeastern, if you took a survey and asked all the players who they would want on their side of the ball, we would speak with one voice, and that voice would say Bull Lions. Yes. So if I may ask, John Marley, John for Coach John Barbati, and Coach Bull Lions, can you come up to the podium, please?
I don't know if I really like to have these two head coaches standing behind me. Unfortunately, they don't have a whistle, so I think they're tough when they have their whistles. Mr. Kurgan said, do not say this, but you know, when I was on it a number of years ago, I forgot to thank a few people. So, like Mr. Dagnan, I want to go back and say that this one, that one, no, I'm only kidding. Thank you. It is an honor and a privilege to be asked to introduce my good friend, teammate, and competitor in college, Michael Bird Santoian, Watertown High School, class of 1972. Michael is being honored tonight for his outstanding contribution to Watertown athletic program in football, track, and community service. For those who know Michael, we could be honoring him as the most liked and friendliest graduate of Watertown High. As a matter of fact, it was told to me that Michael has had the most tables ever asked for by an inductee. Michael is a lifelong resident of Watertown. He is the son of Bruce and the late Nancy Santoian, Agahanian Santoian, who I know is with us tonight in spirit. Michael's family and many of his cousins are here with us tonight. Michael grew up on North Beacon Street, and his neighborhood friends were known as the Palmer Street Gang, and some of them are here tonight. Michael attended the Hosmer and the East Junior High School, and then Michael was first introduced to organized football in those days as the East and the West came together to make up the freshman football team. The majority of the team at that time was from the West. Then Michael moved on to Watertown High. When his first experience was going to football camp in August with a new group of coaches led by Coach John Barbati. Coach B and some of his staff are here tonight as well. Unfortunately, linemen don't have many statistics to brag about, but clearly Michael developed and matured as a football player along with his teammates. The Watertown community came out in thousands to watch the team play on Saturdays. It was obvious that the Watertown running backs had outstanding statistics, and a lot had to do with Michael and his fellow linemen opening the holes, and many of his friends and teammates are here with him tonight. Let me just share one story about Michael's playing days. In our sophomore year, before the Belmont game, our line coach, Coach Mangerian, who was here tonight, wanted the sophomores to be the look squad for the varsity. During one play, Michael was double teamed and driven back about 15 yards right in front of Coach Mangerian. And Coach Mangierian yelled, "Santoian, get running," which was to do laps around Victory Field. And this was all part of football. But what happened was this took place in the middle of practice. And Michael just kept on running and running and running, almost like you saw in Forrest Gump. It wasn't until we were all going into the locker room that somebody reminded Coach Mangierian that Michael was still running. Michael thinks he ran about 10 miles that day. Needless to say, from that day on, Michael never wanted to be driven back again. Michael went on to make all Middlesex League honors. It was named to the Herald All-Scholastic Honor Roll. Michael was also a star of the outdoor track team. He scored numerous points in the discus and javelin. We had a quality throwing team, and he was the best and had the most distance. He consistently threw over 130 feet and had many throws, well over 140. Michael was offered a scholarship to the Winchendon School in North Central Mass. During his postgraduate year, he received varsity letters in football, swimming, and lacrosse. When he comes up to the stage tonight to receive his honor, I want you to try to picture him in a Speedo. After Winchendon, Michael was accepted to Northeastern, the home of the Huskies. There he started for 3 years on the varsity football team as a defensive tackle. An article in the Globe during spring football going into his sophomore year stated that Coach Bo Lyons would easily be able to forget the graduating senior as long as Michael Santoian played to his ability, which Michael did. And many of Michael's college teammates are here tonight, which is a tribute to him. Michael has given back to our community by coaching Pop Warner football and volunteered to help to coach the girls and boys discus and javelin throwers. He is now presently an assistant for the very successful girls track team. The athletes have benefited from Michael's knowledge of sport, but more importantly, his enthusiasm and his love of people have touched them forever. Michael's athletic accomplishments and years of service to the youth of Watertown make him a deserving inductee into the Watertown Hall of Fame. I present you, and please stand, Michael Santoian.
Quite an introduction. Thank you, Dominic. I'd like to thank Bob for the plan, the Hall of Fame committee for their efforts in putting this night together. I'd also like to congratulate fellow inductees. This is such an incredible honor for me, and I am so overwhelmed by the support of my coaches, my teammates, my family, all of my friends that are here tonight. I thank you all for being here, and a very, very special thanks to my brother-in-law, Richie flew out from Portland, Oregon this morning to be here for this event tonight. Bonehead, as we affectionately call him in high school, was pound for pound the hardest hitting offensive guard I ever played against in high school. I know this firsthand. One day in practice, he gave me the only concussion I ever suffered in sports. Nobody had more spirit, nobody had more heart. Mark, nobody had more desire than my brother-in-law, Richard. Rich, I thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you. You know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, in my case, it took the Watertown community, and then some, to create an athlete. I'd like to recognize those who helped me along the way. My theme here, and I do have a theme, is called Getting Pushed Around is Not Always a Bad Thing. As a young kid in the neighborhood, we played a game with Donnie Shapiro. He was dating my neighbor, Diane Rukenyon. Donnie was from Belmont, and at the time, he was captain of the Harvard football team. Well, my neighbor, Mark Rukenyon, Diane's younger brother, and I used to play this game with Donnie. All we tried to do was knock him off his two-point linebacker stance. If we knocked him off his stance, we won. If we didn't, he won. Often we called on neighbors Eddie Kasabian, Anthony Dicio, my cousin Gary Agahigan, who was also here tonight. Well, we never did win at that game, even though there was 5 of us. But we all dreamed of playing college football one day. 3 of us would realize that dream. One of us, Mark Rupenyon, made it all the way to the National Football League and the Buffalo Bills. In 1968, I was short. I was a pudgy 9th grader at the Old East Junior, as my friend Dominic explained. My dad, Ben Santoian, gave me the initial push in trying out for the freshman football team, where coaches Tony Flecker and Billy McCarthy taught us the basic fundamentals. My small protected world of southeast Watertown began to grow that year, and so did I. My cousin Bobby Barbigan, who is here tonight, till this day speaks of that summer, where he believes I grew at least 6 inches, and all that baby fat started to turn to muscle. That same year, Watertown received a new head football coach, John Barbigan. After a decade of losing seasons, he pledged to bring Watertown football back into the win column. His philosophy was simple. He said to us, "Give me your commitment, and you will become winners." Each season, our commitment began up in New Hampshire by the lake, and we spent a week of triple sessions. It was literally the proverbial week from hell.